Okay, so we're officially recording now. So I guess I'll start by just asking both of you to say differently, your overall kind of learnings from Faculty Follies. Like, what was your overall impressions of it?
Although I thought things wouldn't be able to come together like they did in the short span of time that we had to do it,
Yes.
I learned that if everyone does their role and if everyone plays a small little part, we don't necessarily need someone to be an overarching leader or someone to do most of the majority and like organize everything. Just everyone chipping in with what they need to contribute. Things will be very smooth. Things will go very well, and it won't be as you won't need as much effort to complete it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. What you learned?
I learned that deadlines approach a lot faster than you anticipate them to, even when it's like a few months apart. And that tasks that, to me, like, I always think of things as kind of like immovable, huge things that need to be completed, which results in me like kind of delaying them, putting them off, trying to fit them around other things. But the fact is that like most of the stuff that we were expected to do was like completely manageable and doable, and like I in fact was able to get done like smoothly. So I think, yeah, it was useful for me in that respect because it just like kind of went to show that like stuff is manageable and doable, and most of the time, like when you put the work in, things just like work out really well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like you do have it in your power,
and you do, yeah,
to
exactly.
do it. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, good. Next question. It's a two-parter. So the hardest part and the best part. What were your hardest parts of the whole thing? But also the highlights.
So for me, this is kind of bad on my part, but we were like 3 days before, no, the night before the rehearsal, and we didn't have a script. So I called my partner, my MC, and I was like, yo, do you have an hour? He's like, yeah. And the hardest part was getting myself to sit down and be like, okay, we'll do it. Not doing, because doing it went smooth. It was easy. It was fun. But actually getting myself to sit down, to open my laptop, and to write a script was much more difficult than actually writing the script. And I think that was the most difficult part. I was like, I can't do this. But if I just open it and I just start, then I write.
Honestly, the first sentence is always the hardest. It's just like
Definitely
doing it, and then and the best.
Performing.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. I always enjoyed performing, especially on stages where I can't see the audience, like they're dark. So I'm just looking into a dark crowd. I'm just saying my words. I love it.
Chef's kiss, beautiful.
Yeah, you were great. You had a great stage presence. It was like really cool to watch.
Yeah, I'm really sad. I obviously couldn't see it live, but the videos that Sophie sent, you two looked amazing. Like it sounded amazing. It was funny. Everything was perfect. So I love that. And Lori, what about you? Hardest part, best part?
Same answer as Christy. Really, like it's really the like sitting down and being like, this is actually manageable, and I just like as a question of me sitting down and doing it. That's like the hardest for me. And then obviously like the first rehearsal was like it was really cool to watch because like I feel like some of the skits unfolded the best during that first rehearsal. And then the live performance, just like people hearing people being like so energized by the show, that was like terrific. It was like because like managed to put on an event that like really unified people for a night. That sounds super cliched, but it really did. People really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was very cool.
Nice.
And
do you feel both that it like brought you closer, and Sophie as well, you can contribute, but do you feel like it brought you closer as a group? Like, were there ever points when you were, I don't know, like struggling with each other or leaning on each other?
No.
Struggling
not at all.
Never.
And we were
Good.
all very like excited, but also like ready to like, and this also sounds like super cliche, but like reach out and like offer someone a hand, like a helping hand with anything. So like, for example, Christo, like even though the video, I don't know who was
the video, it was like a lot of group work.
It was a lot of work, but like the three of us did it, and that just felt really cool because we were like corresponding on Instagram the whole time. We're like, who's doing this? Whoa. That was like really cool. And the whole time, just like with everything, it just felt like anytime you struggle with something, you could ask someone for help or for like advice or anything. So like, I think we definitely did get closer as a group.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if we got closer as a group, I think we were already
Already close.
very
Yeah,
close. I
okay,
mean,
okay.
we are 3 people, and a fourth joined midway through the year, and we spent 30 hours a week together. I don't think we can really get much tighter with
Right,
one another,
right.
but definitely was a fun experience to do
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, this is a really good cohort. It's really lucky. You all are very different, but all get along so well. And yeah, because I remember a couple years ago, there was the one cohort that was like constantly fighting. And they were family, but like, so it was kind of the way that like siblings might fight, but they were in our first year, the grade 11s were like constantly at each other's throats. So you guys are lucky. But yeah, I guess what the last question, and then I can leave it open for more comments if you want to. But what would you have done differently, and therefore, what would you recommend the next group to do?
I would recommend maybe, I don't know, maybe I don't know.
Starting earlier.
Starting earlier, yeah, okay, just starting earlier, and especially with the video, I mean, and like
Oh, yeah.
not to understand like totally how much time and efforts are you going to pour in it, because we had this thing with interviews, so we had to not to do only Ukrainian woman, like subtitles for her, but then also for girls in ACS, though they could speak English, but like they were like, okay, we're gonna speak Ukrainian. It was like, yeah, it's a nice idea. Okay, let's do it. But like that was extra work. It turned out to be nice, but it can be less than it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Lori, what about you? I mean, I guess you guys said the same thing, but
Yeah, I like just starting earlier because like the deadline, even though it just seems like months away, at some
Mhm.
point it always like it approaches quickly. But also just like familiarizing yourself with like what needs to be done, because like for example, this was my first time using iMovie, and so like it took me like 9 hours, and then like Chris and Sophie did their bit, so like it was a lot of work, and it definitely could have been cut shorter. And like if we like for example had started the video earlier and like had a more like coherent idea of like what we wanted it to look like, then that would have like probably gone a bit smoother. Like it went smoothly, but it was very time consuming, and so yeah, definitely just like having a better idea of what you want the end product to be, which is always difficult, like when it's a new task. And like none of us had seen a faculty Follies show before, so like it was a bit of like kind of guesswork. But yeah, definitely like a more of like a bigger picture of like what you want to achieve is definitely, I think, what I would
Mhm.
change.
Mhm.
I
Nice.
think so. I'll answer this question in 2 parts. Firstly, what I would have liked to done with our performance, and a bit of advice for the future people. So, firstly, the only issue, besides the fact that we went to record the video for the Red Cross, what was it, a week before the actual performance?
Exactly a week
So-
before, yeah.
But that wasn't on us as much as it was that they just didn't respond to us for how long was it? 2
For
weeks.
some time.
But this, put that to the side.
Mhm.
Please don't have the performance that late in school year.
Mm.
Because it's the last. What was it? The last week before
Last
finals.
week,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
The amount of assignments I had
Mm.
that week, and I am still very thankful to our TOK teacher for postponing our TOK exhibitions,
That was
because
a
they were the day
huge-
after
Yeah.
Faculty Follies.
Oh, Dr. Nedoff. Yeah.
So he is
Yeah.
in a very sweet place in my heart. Anyways, for the future students, I would say to just make the show unique. Put your own little thing on it. Do your little
Yeah.
pizzazz. Have your little
Mhm.
moment.
Oh, a theme maybe.
Don't make it the same thing we did. Don't make the
Mhm.
same thing that other people did. Make it you.
Mhm.
You're not us. We're not you. You do you.
I love that. That's a really good piece of advice.
Would you say we made it ours? Like, did it have like a
Yeah,
that's
what made it?
2023 IB mark on it?
Definitely. Yes.
What
I would
was
say,
that?
yeah.
What?
Exactly. What about it was like us?
Us?
I think we so many like jokes around it, and initially like it turned out to be like we used them like
Yeah.
they were hidden, but like they still were like felt. Maybe just okay. Maybe like among us who like know them, but anyway, it was felt,
Mhm.
especially the video.
We were the first people, we don't know what we did. You know what I mean? We don't know the previous. We don't know what theirs is. We don't know what ours is. We just did us. We just did what we thought was right, and what the teachers, added with their ideas. Manol did his little vote for me for president, come to my shows. Manol put his little
In
spin on
true
it.
Manol fashion.
Again, we are the only people who didn't donate to that one charity Miss Semkova always donates to.
Yeah.
We were like, no, we choose. This is our idea. This is what we're gonna do. And I think that's just important to have like your own little idea that you incorporate. Because Miss Semkova never donated to the Red Cross. We decided, you know what, we're gonna do this because, we think it's more morally
Because of
correct.
the current political circumstances. Otherwise, like the charity she donates is like totally worth
Yes,
donating
of course,
to.
but like,
Yeah, we thought they're like pressing matters right now.
Yes.
so, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I feel like it was exactly like you said. It had to be you because did you see the first one or no, or the last one or no? No, so none of you had ever
No.
I
seen
had
a show.
like a vague idea of what it
Yeah.
needed to be, but that was
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Any final remarks from anyone? Or
I will say we were very lucky to have this show be like the first of its kind after COVID, and after a while had gone about people seeing it. Because I definitely think like it was a good show, but the reaction we got, I think, was mostly a result of like this pent up energy of like not having any collective or like big school events. And now like this was the first one of its kind for a while now for many people, and so that's why we got the response that we got. But definitely, I think for next year they will have to like step it up because now people know what it is, and you'll have to like really do something big to get a reaction.
right. Pizza, or is that
Oh.
gonna hurt you?
No, it's not going to hurt me. Sorry for the interruption.
I thought we were recording. So, final remarks. I don't know. Is this still being recorded?
Yeah.
I think
It's informative.
if the 10th graders that do it next year ask me to host it, I will do it.
Really,
I'll do it.
yeah,
I don't care. I'll do it.
right. Well, I mean, I guess I would hope that they would
Of course, yes.
do it, but I would
Nobody
love for you, 3 of you somehow are back in Bulgaria, Sophie, at the time.
Yeah.
To sit down and have lots of meetings with them, kind of going over what it is that they need to do, a timeline, advice of, like you've just said, don't put it to the last minute. This should be done at this time, all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad to hear that you're eager to help them. And like, I mean,
if they asked, I would love to help.
yeah, like there's always, you'd be graduated by then, but there's always a need for people in the sound booth, backstage, like, and what better than the people who've just done it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And to like kind of end on a more like, or I guess like a positive note, I feel really lucky that like I did it with like this set of people, and yeah, just I feel like to have done it with you guys.
Yeah.
Aww.
It's a good note to end it on.